On today's DNVR Broncos podcast, we are talking about the Broncos' 6th practice of training camp, and boy, did one side dominate today. Plus, a player turned the head of Sean Payton and the offensive coaches, and we heard from Courtland Sutton after signing his deal. It all starts now. Another dominant day from the Broncos defense today, and we're going to break down the DNVR Broncos podcast live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores, and we are inside the DNVR bar. We got Ryan, we got Henry, we got Dion behind the camera, and Logan, and Zach rocking and rolling with you today. Fellas, how we doing? 6th practice of training camp in the books.
I'm so happy. I'm just so happy that I got to watch football today.
You look
just like, what were you saying?
You look back in your natural environment.
I was just sitting there thinking, like, I think I am just most myself during football season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I just felt so at peace. The sounds, the whistles, the helmets, crack it. Like, it's just
Cursing.
What about the construction sounds too?
Yep. It's all just so great. It was wonderful to be out there at practice, truly.
Man, we did this for 6 years, 7 years, full time, where it was just you and me out there. Just felt like another day. And Henry, we're going on our 4th season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cuatro años.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
4th year.
See, no, we don't need to get into Spanish. Yeah, no, it's awesome out there. I agree. Like, football practice is just the best place to be. Honestly, even better than like football games, I think. There's something about like just being out there. There's like a peacefulness to it.
There's no stakes.
Exactly. And like there's so many things going on, especially this time of year. It's all just so new. And a lot of the guys are the same. Like you look and it's like, oh, there's Garrett Bowles doing Garrett Bowles things. But then you have like, oh, Troy Franklin looks different this year. And there's like a couple of those that get you really excited. You get to see the new guys. And there's just so many things happening.
Got to give our guy Todd Davis a hug.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? He still hasn't hugged me. I did see him again today.
He dapped me up last week.
Bad for you.
Yeah, it's actually you have to go out of your way to get him because I don't know about when you saw him, although I did see the hug, but when I saw him last week, he was like running in the facility. You don't have much time with these guys.
Yep. I tried to get the attention of a player because I wanted to tell him a funny story. Completely ignored me. I don't know. Maybe he didn't hear, but I was like, all right. He probably just thinks I'm some media guy trying to ask him a question, but I really just wanted to tell him something funny.
Can we know the funny story?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be
really
appropriate. Henry, I think you took it just a little too far. Get me to week 1. Games. I am ready for, because I'm ready to see this defense just be so dominant against poor Cam Ward.
Yeah. That was my number one takeaway. I think it would be anyone's number one takeaway from today, but I don't know if I can stress just how smothering the Broncos defense was. Like, I was telling Henry, I was like, that was a pretty kind of a boring practice. And I was like, but I think it might just be because the defense will not allow for anything but a boring practice. When I tell you guys that the offense could not breathe, they could not breathe. They could not breathe at any point during the practice. And obviously you go out there and you just like want to see Bo Nix throw like a long completion to someone or just do anything. And the defense was just having absolutely positively none of it. And I came away from that thinking like, I've watched really great Broncos defenses smother bad offenses.
Yeah.
This should be a good offense. You know, there's a line between good, great, how elite. But I think that at the very least, this should be a good offense that moves the football. Not on this defense, they don't. They don't do anything against this defense because I don't know if doing anything against this defense is possible.
And here's the thing that really makes me excited about it to take it just another step further, Ryan, because I agree with everything you said. It's not that Pat Surtain is clamping down these wide receivers and we don't know who wide receiver 2 is, so Pat's doing a great job on wide receiver 2, or this secondary is smothering a young wide receiver core, or these running backs are new to the game or new to the Broncos at least, and still trying to figure out the system. No, it's the front 7 dominating a great offensive line. An elite offensive line, an offensive line that could have been the best offensive line in football last year and could be taking that step to be even better this year because now they have continuity. That's how good this front 7 is they're making this offensive line look like Broncos offensive lines of 7 years ago, where it's like, yeah, no, they're not really good. And I just have to continue to remind myself, like, no, this offensive line's great, and they are just getting work day in and day out.
Yeah, and I think that's the core of football is going to be in the front. But I think all of the other things that you said are happening too. Like Pat is clamping down.
Yeah.
And the receivers are struggling to get separation. There were a couple times where like I saw Bo get to his back foot and have a second to look, and it's just like, well, there's nothing there, so I'm going to take off. Like it's truly 1 through 11. This defense was not allowing the offense to breathe.
Yeah, no, and the reason that I said it the way I did is because it's not like the question marks on offense is the only thing that's getting shut down. It's the elite parts, too, that are being dominated. And, Ryan, today, you probably, and Henry, you can, I want your opinion on this, too. This was the most dominant we've seen this defense. Now, don't get me wrong, they've been very dominant throughout camp so far, specifically the pass rush and the secondary, but today it was just smothering. I mean, Bo Nix wasn't able to do much. There's one run that I think we'll be able to talk about, and that's it.
Yep. I think so. There were 3 team periods today. Good place to start. Like usual, the first one is basically just like we're running the football, then we're going to throw in a token pass. Today, the token was actually like a read option for Bo, and he took it, and I was like, okay, whatever. The 2 real team periods where they're actually like doing whatever they want, Bo really couldn't get throws off, like you guys said. There was the little curl to Evan Ingram, got one to Pat Bryant, I think on his last play for like a short little gain. I think Nate Adkins caught one, but for the most part, there was just nothing that they could do. It's also tough to see what's happening when they run the ball, especially when they're on the far field from down, like maybe one of those runs is actually like 8 yards, or even the difference between like a 3-yard run and a 5-yard run. It's huge in the grand scheme of things. But when you're standing there, like, does he fall forward? Does that guy bring him down? But yeah, I mean, the defense was all over him. There was just nothing available downfield in particular. On some plays, just nothing available anywhere at all, and Bo just had nowhere to go.
After a quick look at my notes, looking at those 3 team periods, 3-yard runs were tough to come by. 5-yard runs might have been one. There were just as many tackles for a loss in the run game today as there were actual runs past the line of scrimmage. So smothering everywhere.
Yeah, like I said, true suffocation. And it got me like starting to think about true like grandiose stamps that you could put on this defense. And I'm not going to do it after one practice, but I want to. Like, I want to say that they could be the best Broncos defense ever. Like, I want to say that they're Super Bowl caliber defense. I'm not going to today. I could. I won't today. But that's like the type of performance that I saw from that defense. And that's keeping in mind that Alex Singleton wasn't even out there. And Lavelle Bailey looks awesome.
Yep.
And Sean Payton, sung his praises today. And like, when you have so much talent, which they do, I mean, just one after another, they're just putting in waves of talent. It's really easy for one person to go out and one person to come in, and it just not be exposed because everyone else is doing their job so well that you just have to come in and like execute your assignment, and it makes it look easy. But, that is a scary, scary defense.
So, Ryan, you might not want to go out and say that this is going to be an all-time defense right now, and I don't blame you. But people inside the building are not maybe going to that extent right now, but people inside the building are saying what everyone wants to say, and that this defense can be elite. And they're not just saying it on the microphone, they're saying it behind closed doors. Elite, best defense in the NFL this year. And going even further, I kid you not, there's a player on the defensive side of the ball that has texted me after every single practice of camp so far saying this defense is so blank good. And you can just change that blank word, or going to be so good. And that kind of eases any concerns that I would have about this offense, which I wouldn't be panicking about this offense yet by any means. But the defense is that good, and they believe it from inside the building. I wasn't here I wasn't covering the team in 2015, so I'm sure that defense believed it in training camp as well. But I haven't been around a unit since 2016 and on that truly believes they're going to be as good as this Broncos defense believes they're going to be.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot. They have the opportunity. Like, they have the talent. They were good last year. In theory, not much to change. It's just about going out there and doing it, which is what makes this part of the year so fun. Instead of just like all the hypotheticals from like the past few months, just like, yeah, there they are. This is step one. Just keep stepping and stepping. Hopefully by the time you get to the season, they're going out there and just stuffing other teams.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah. When you brought up the thing, I haven't seen a unit like this, and I was like, this could really go somewhere. But then you brought up confidence. There's the confidence, which other unit couldn't have.
It was really cool just feeling the air of confidence around there. Like you said, Zach, we did this for years and years, and like there's always hopefulness in this time of the year, no matter how good or bad a team's going to be, because we've only seen each other. And so the couple bounces could go our way, we could be good. This was like true confidence. Everyone you talk to, just being around there's a huge air of confidence. And even I was talking to someone within the organization, and they said the S word, Super Bowl. That word I can't remember the last time I heard that word uttered on those practice grounds. And it's not like that, oh, they're going to win the Super Bowl because that was said, but it just tells you the shift of where this team has come from and where they are now, that like those words can even be uttered when looking out at them practicing on the field.
Yeah, and I said in the spring that Sean Payton 100% believes this is a Super Bowl team and window starting this year. And Ryan, it's trickled throughout the entire organization. Not just Bo Nix believes it or Pat Surtain believes it, but all of the players believe it. Plus, everyone in the organization. So I love that you said that, because that is kind of the confidence that this team has. Last year, they were the underdogs. This year, it does not feel like they believe they're underdogs. Maybe, the Bomani Joneses of the world are doubting them and doubting Bo Nix and doubting what they can do. Of course, you have some other haters out there that are saying Broncos aren't going to make the playoffs. This team doesn't really need that chip on their shoulder because they believe in themselves, or should I say, they believe in themselves.
Wow. Yeah. No, I mean, they seem confident. Again, it's like Dre Greenlaw said yesterday. A guy asked, does this look like one of the best defenses in the NFL? Could this be the best? Could this be all time? He's like, it's just too early to tell. But, I feel like we're capable. And I feel like we just got to go out there and do it. And that's, again, it's this time of year. You just go do it.
The other thing I noticed out there that to me is a mark of a good football team is there is not a lot of like coaches screaming and yelling and jumping up and down and slamming stuff on the ground. In fact, the coaching staff was very quiet, I felt like today. Just kind of letting the players do it. And I saw a lot of player communication between each other, whether that's out on the field or on the sideline. But when a team has a long way to go, the coaches are in there trying to guide every step of the way and trying to make sure, okay, you did this wrong. Here's how you do it. A lot of times saying that while screaming. Didn't see that. Saw a lot of coaches observing and a lot of players talking.
It's such a good point. And Troy Franklin is probably the perfect example of this. Last season, exactly this time, Henry, we came on this show and we were talking about, oh my gosh, Johnny Moe must hate Troy Franklin because he's MFing him every single practice right in front of us, screaming, cussing at him. Now,
I think at one point Marvin spiked a football and walked away too.
Yeah, and just screaming at these young wide
he was
receivers.
So mad.
Now Johnny Morton is no longer with the Broncos. He's with the Lions. So
Offensive
maybe
coordinator.
this helps a little bit that he's not here. But you're 100% right, Ryan. In fact, when Henry brought up like you like the cussing of football, what actually hit my head was like, I truly don't know if I've heard like a mad cuss word being said. We're a week into football. We're a couple practices in with pads on. You typically do hear that. So it is different. And Ryan, when you brought up like it's more so players taking the lead, two guys that I just continue. Well, one guy that I continue to know is Bo. He's coaching up everyone. He has not been afraid in the past couple of practices to go up to Courtland and say, no, let's do it this way, which I did not see last year. And then today we saw Swaggy Court. Swaggy Court had all of his money and all of his confidence because he was everywhere. He was teaching the young guys how to do things just left and right. And that's exactly what you want to see after you give a guy $92 million and lock him up.
Totally. Yeah. We got to see Court in the one-on-ones was fun to watch. We had the first round of the receivers and DBs in the one-on-ones. He won both times. The first one against Pat, where you're just like, oh, big dig right there. And then the second one, he got, it was the out route against Riley Moss. Where Court's just so big, just pushes on him a little bit and breaks outside. Just so easy for him.
Riley was in just sticky coverage the whole time too, but when Court uses that big body, he's going to be able to get separation against anyone. So I absolutely love seeing that. And really quick, on Court, you could tell just how pumped he was about this deal, as he should be. I was told by someone very close to him just how thrilled he is to potentially finish his career with the Broncos and get this over with and be with the Broncos. And we'll actually hear from Court later in the show. But you could see it on the practice field today. It was really cool. I mean, he's the first one going through all of the drills today, and I felt really, really happy for him. Which you can't really see happiness on a practice field all that much. And you could just tell how much this meant to him. And again, we heard from him after practice, so we will talk about that. Let's get to some other takeaways, because I think everything you guys have said I completely agree with. But there's one thing that we have not talked about that I want to get to, and I want to get to it after I give a shout out to our friends over at, can you guys help me out here? I can't.
First Bank.
Over at First Bank, where if you want to get the best banking experience, go check them out, because whether you're at home, on the road, or somewhere in between, First Bank makes it easy, convenient, and secure. Their mobile banking app allows you to check balances, pay friends, and manage your money anytime, anywhere. And here's the best part. Open a new First Bank checking account today, and you could earn $300. $300 sounds pretty nice. First Bank is all about helping you stay on track. Their tools make it simple to stay in control of your finances without the hassle. No matter where life takes you, First Bank gives you the freedom to bank how and when it works best for you. So if you're ready for a better banking experience and a chance to earn a little extra, up to $300, head to efirstbank.com/bonus. That's efirstbank.com/bonus to open your account. Bank how you want, when you want with First Bank. Certain restrictions and requirements apply. Member FDIC.
And shout out to Empire, because they're the best in flooring. If you're, let's say, if you're building a new house, if you're remodeling your house, or I guess if you just have a reason to want new floors. Like I said, I feel like it's not really carpet season anymore.
Really?
Tile season.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're the kind of person who changes your floors with the seasons, I'm sure Empire today would love to hear from you. Empire is awesome.
Your top customer.
By far, yes. Wouldn't even need like a big space. Empire's the best if you want to go check out what those floors would look like in your home. You can use their app. It's like a virtual reality type deal. Super fancy, I guess. Also, you can have one of them come to your house and tell you what's up and what they could do for you. Now, if you want to do that, you can schedule a free in-home estimate today. Some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DNVR. Yes, you heard that right. A $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday/DNVR for full details.
Also, don't tell Empire I said this, but if you are a person who likes to change your floors with the seasons, might I recommend rugs?
Oh,
that is an easy fix. And you can put it over tile.
Exactly.
In fact, you could put a rug over carpet.
Yeah.
Talk about the comfort that
I've
you
seen
have
that.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ryan, that's the insight you bring. And that's why I'm happy we had you out of practice
Yes.
today to get your insight. Maybe you can tell us about some rugs you saw Out of practice? I thought about not
Reel
going
that
there. I
one
decided
back.
to go there still. And speaking of appreciation, we appreciate everyone that's tuning in right now. Hit us with a thumbs up, subscribe, and I got to remind you about what's going on at the DNVR bar this Friday night. We've got our guy, Super Bowl 50 champ, Benny Fowler, breaking down film. He's going to do a film session and just take you in to what it's like watching film with an NFL player. He's been in an NFL building for so long, knows what it's like. And I'll tell you what, the couple of times that he's just showed me stuff like behind the scenes, it just blows my mind. It's absolutely incredible. The show he was on with us on Saturday, go and watch the final 5 minutes of that show, and you're going to be like, oh my God, this is incredible. You're going to get a full 2 hours of that with actual film because we can't do film on YouTube. So we have to bring it offline inside the bar. It's going to be awesome. This is open to the public now. So if you want to come, all you have to do is just show up to the bar, 6:30, RSVP, so we know that you're going to be there. Go to thednvr.com/events. It's going to be an awesome time. We're going to be there as well for a little Q&A, but I mean, the real Q&A is going to be just with Benny breaking down this film. So make sure you're there.
And as cool as seeing the film and breaking it down with Benny is, just meeting Benny is worth it.
Yeah.
Benny's cool as shit.
Generally, yeah.
You think he wears it generally? Wow,
Yeah.
is that a little dig?
Well, just generally, you know.
Do you think he wears the Super Bowl ring? I don't know if I've seen
I doubt
him.
it.
I would bet he would
wear it.
Yeah. Benny, if you're watching, wear your Super Bowl ring.
There we go. We've seen Mace wear his Super Bowl ring. We've seen, of course, Todd wear his Super Bowl ring.
Yep.
Benny, let's see yours.
Yep.
Although, probably looks very similar to those two guys, except a little customized on the outside.
I think Todd's is a little bigger than Mace's.
Yeah, probably should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Don't look at me like that.
Clip that.
I didn't
Send
say
it to
anything.
Todd, right?
No, I
Just hyping Todd up right now.
That's crazy. I just think, no, there was like a
You see
play,
Todd once today, and man.
there was like an official player ring and then like a staff ring.
Yeah, that's what he meant, right?
That is exactly what I meant.
Yeah. One is
Hey,
bigger.
I didn't even. My mind didn't go there until I saw.
I didn't-
your
I
face.
didn't
It was
say
red
anything.
as
I
it
sat
to
here
me.
quietly.
Yeah,
This guy.
as red as it to me. It still is red.
I didn't do
I let you get
anything.
away with saying big dig earlier.
That was a big dig.
I didn't pick up on that one either.
That's what Court does.
That is impressive. This is great. Okay, so Henry, your biggest takeaway or other takeaways you have, I wanted to ask you before I get to mine.
Troy made another big play. Troy's just really good now. I think it's kind of as simple as that. Training camp, you usually don't want to get too ahead of yourself, especially when they don't have pads on. So last week when they didn't have the pads on and you see him making a couple catches in the middle of the field, same thing with Marvin, you get excited about, but the game is different with the pads on. But to see Troy jump up over, I think it was Jaden Robinson, the undrafted rookie from Oregon State, and there were a couple other guys around there too, make a catch 50 yards downfield, and Sam Ehlinger would have been sacked twice before he got that throw off, but that's not really the point. See Troy Franklin go up and catch that ball, like that's just not something that he did last year. And then in the one-on-ones against the physicality, I think took Damari Mathis on a corner route. And again, you just get into the guy's body and break outside, because it wasn't like a deep, oh, he's out there running. It's just nice and shallow. Zach's being funny over there.
We're stuck in this
There's so
spiral
many football
now.
words that cross over. And then just like a little slant on Jahdae Barron. Like I think a little slot slant too. Like that's where you like Jahdae, but just so quick. The combination of speed and power with Troy, it's every single day he does something, multiple things generally. You're just like, wow, this guy's crazy.
Well, and just
Yeah,
what
I have a very different take on Troy Franklin.
Oh.
I believe that there is a missing persons case afoot. I think that Troy Franklin has been kidnapped
that's not good.
and replaced with someone new.
Wow.
Because that's not the same person from last year. It's not even
Interesting.
close. It's like, have you ever seen, like, I think this only happens in the movies, but like someone like is watching someone's cat and then they lose it and they're like, I got to find another black cat to like replace it.
I think in real life it happens more with fish.
Yeah, fish,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Like, I think that's what happened. We lost Troy Franklin and then they went and found someone to replace him and just hope no one noticed.
Oh.
Or was it all about the number? And
no.
16,
He
he didn't vibe with it. He
doesn't-
needed to be put in number 11.
doesn't look like a small football player.
No.
anymore.
No, I know.
'Cause remember
he
last
looks
year-
like the 6'3" guy that he's listed at. But last year he did not look like 6'3", and now he does, and he's doing things that just you didn't ever expect him to do. Henry, I love that you pointed to the 50-yard jump ball that he had. we've seen him catch deep passes because he's just wide open. He ran by everyone. That's what was different about this one. It was just a jump ball, and he went up there and got it. But you don't even.
I don't know. I don't know who this guy is, where they got it from, but
maybe it's the Levin that makes him look taller.
He looks taller. He looks stronger. He looks faster. He looks more explosive. He looks like that contested catch. I just don't think that was something he was going to do last year.
Agree.
He was struggling with uncontested catches.
Yeah.
And that could be one hell of a revelation for this offense if they just like found another true threat in Troy Franklin.
Well, and what I'm starting to realize is we talked about how there's a big rotation right now for who's going to be the number wide receiver 2, who's going to be the wide receiver 3 for this team. I don't know if week 1 or week 18 there's going to be. I truly think there's going to be just so much rotation in a good way. Typically, rotation isn't the best thing because it means you don't have a guy. I think Troy stepped up. I think Marvin has quietly, under the radar, continued to develop as a receiver. Pat Bryant, we'll get to him, but he's a dude. And then you have Devon Vele, too, who, just like Marvin, is also quietly taking another step, but it's a little more quiet because Pat Bryant's doing stuff, because Troy Franklin's doing stuff. That's 4 guys for 1 to 2 spots that are going to see the field a lot. Instead of it being 1 to 2 guys, I think it's going to be all 4, just a lot of rotation.
I think it could be. I also can't watch these practices and say that Troy Franklin isn't the second best receiver on this team.
Sure.
Like I don't know what else you could want to see from him. Like, because he's winning all sorts of different ways, which was the difference between this year and last year. I think that the fact that he's doing it every single day, over and over again. Don't forget, he's the fastest receiver on this team. So we can get all excited about the fact that, he was 176 pounds last year. It doesn't take much to now be like, 185 might be enough. Maybe he's 190. When I look at all the different things he does, he looks like a starting receiver. And he's the one guy in that group who, like, Pat Bryant has some nice moments, like, especially in those one-on-ones. I think at one point there was Mario Goodrich just on a little, like, quick in route. He got Mario Goodrich to, like, spin around the wrong way. Like, there was another one, like, inside release on Riley, breaks inside, just wide open. You see that stuff from Pat Bryant. But when you see Troy do it, it just... there's a specialness to it. Like, then you throw in the speed. You throw in the 75-yard touchdown we saw just a few days ago. And it's just, you have to have that guy on the field as much as you can.
I love it. I think if we're going eye test and what we've seen so far, I think in the first week of camp, Pat Bryant is arguably Sean Payton's favorite wide receiver and arguably all 3 quarterbacks' favorite wide receiver. And it's so hard for me to say that about a rookie, but it's just day in and day out. He's the guy that it seems like quarterbacks are looking to when they're in a pinch, and he gets more targets than anyone else from top to bottom, that Sean just goes out of his way to praise after practice, that Sean is putting on the field with the first team offense day in and day out. And it also helps that he doesn't look like a rookie. Like Troy last year, you just talked about it. Like his body, it looked like he was kidnapped from last year to this year. He does not look like a rookie. He looks like he has the size to play and start week 1. And then I just see the quarterbacks just go after him and after him and after him. And it's, again, really hard for me to say that he's going to end up being a starter week 1 on this team. That's what my eyes are telling me so far the first week of camp.
What I love is that I was wrong. You rarely ever hear me say that.
It's true. Because you're right so
It
often.
helps when everyone else is wrong with you.
That's true.
Yeah.
But, I was pounding the table about adding to wide receiver this offseason. I just didn't think they had enough in that room. And obviously they did add Pat Bryant, which if they hit on that, it helps a lot. But, Zach, you were adamant that they're happy with what they have. And I think just seeing Troy Franklin alone helps me understand why they were feeling that way. And, he made a huge play in a playoff game. It's not as if he was completely absent for his entire rookie season, but he looks transformed. And then you add in Pat Bryant, who you can barely even hear the ball hit his hands when he catches it. That's how soft and quiet his hands are. That's why the quarterbacks are falling in love with him so fast, is they know that they throw it over there, he's hauling it in. So I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that they had what it takes. still, you need Troy to keep on this path. You need Pat Bryant to continue to develop. But Sean Payton has a knack for this in terms of developing wide receivers, and you can see it already.
And the good news is maybe it's not who's going to be wide receiver 2 on this team. It's truly going to be who the third target is, because Evan Ingram is clearly going to be that 1 or 2. And then, of course, now you add Court back. Court was back on the practice field, did everything out there with the team, and we'll get to Court in just a second. But I want to talk about my biggest takeaway today, because it does have to do with the offensive side of the ball, and I want to do it after I let you know about the best trip that's going on this year. We're going to London. Broncos are going to London. We're following them to London. We are all going to be there, and we want you to be there with us. And we've partnered with True Fan Travel. Go to truefantravel.com to get your tickets. And the cool thing about True Fan Travel, we said we want to go to London to see London, do all these events, and then go to the Broncos game and have an awesome tailgate. And they said, done. We've got it. So they've booked so many events. They booked the flights out there. They booked the hotel. So many events throughout the week. The best tailgate maybe in the world that's going to happen. The one that we had in London last time might have been the best one in the world.
So
and then you're going to get your game ticket included in this. So True Fan Travel has you completely taken care of. It's a one-stop shop. Go to truefantravel.com to get your tickets to join us and the Broncos in London. It's going to be an incredible trip. Also, if let's say you live in London already, or you live in Europe and you don't need flights to get there, they also have packages which just includes the hotel. So you can get all of that over at truefantravel.com.
Also, another chance to meet Benny.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Might be a little easier to meet Benny at the bar. I guess it depends on where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just telling you ways to meet a Super Bowl 50 champ. The guy that caught Peyton's last pass.
Yes. Also, shout out to our friends over at Raisin Canes. Actually went to Raisin Canes yesterday, coming back from Boulder. Hit it up. Just never disappoints.
So jealous.
Straight up never disappoints. And the chicken fingers were amazing. They were super hot. I love when I just get food that's just piping hot.
Especially fast food.
Same with the fries. Yeah. The fries were also hot. And they're crispy. Chicken tenders were perfectly seasoned. And you had that cane sauce, which brings it all together. The Texas toast as well. And I personally love the coleslaw. I couldn't even believe they asked. They're like, do you want the coleslaw? I'm like, yeah, of course I want the coleslaw.
Am I human?
Yeah, it's amazing. So anyways, get over to Raisin Canes this summer. Check them out and get you some. Maybe you're on a road trip, whatever you're doing. Get you some Raisin Canes.
And a guy that was juiced up at practice today that I loved seeing was RJ Harvey. I think he had maybe his breakout of camp potentially, and I noticed it on the field. Like I said, the offense wasn't able to do much at all. Probably the offensive play of the day for when it comes to the first team, because Troy Franklin, he had that catch from Sam Ehlinger with the third team. From the first team was probably the run that was all RJ Harvey. So this run, it started as, I think it looked like a stretch to the left. Right when he got the ball, it was blown up. The left side of the line was blown up. There were multiple defenders in the backfield. The offensive line was pushed. I mean, he could have been tackled right there. So he gets the ball and immediately goes to the right side and just takes it all the way to the sideline, turns upfield, would have been a 15, 20, 25-yard gain, and that's without him breaking any tackles. So he took what should have been a loss of 5, and instead of 2nd and 15, now you're at 1st and 10, 15, 20, 25 yards down the field, and I just loved to see it. And so for me, that was like, man, that was great to see from RJ Harvey. What made it even more impressive was how it really caught Sean Payton's attention. Dion, do we have that clip? Let's hear from Sean after practice talking about this play.
All of it, yeah. I think for him specifically, the protections, the speed of the game. He had a run today that was something, and we kind of turned and looked at each other. But there's that learning curve for all of those young players. But and some of it happens a little quicker, maybe than others. But he's doing exceptional.
Exceptional. That run was something. We all turned and looked at each other. So it didn't just excite me. That got the head coach going.
Yeah, and we've all had that moment where you make eye contact. So whether it's I'm just assuming it's the offensive coordinator, You look over, you're like, that's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy we drafted. And I mean, it was a quiet day, but that was an impressive play. And I'm a big fan of J.K. Dobbins, and I really like that signing. There's a clear difference in explosion, in explosiveness from J.K. to R.J.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and it's to be expected, right? I mean, one guy is like ridiculous 40 time, like the burst. He's a home run hitter last year. That's what you bring him in here to do. Whereas another guy, a little bit later in his career, more the vision, more the between the tackles, make something happen. I saw that run, and I couldn't tell who it was at first. I was like, oh, please be JK, please be JK. Because I saw like 7, I saw 37. I was like, okay, I would have loved to see that speed, but the fact that like RJ was able to do that, awesome.
I loved it because it seems like the Broncos have already named their week 1 starting running back, and it's J.K. Dobbins, just from the way the first week of camp has gone. Far from like actually saying that, but you kind of feel that way when it's like, oh, I kind of thought maybe this would be a competition, and every day they're going to flip and rotate who's the starter, and it just doesn't happen. But today, we saw the juice from RJ. I'm really curious to see, does he get that little boost of confidence and get that start tomorrow in practice? It doesn't really matter. Just who's the starter is kind of a fun thing. But when it comes to the running back position, we know exactly how this is going to go. One of them's going to get 50% of the carries. The other's going to get 46% of the carries. And then someone else, some poor other running back, is going to get 4% of the carries.
You know who that is? Because I can tell you already.
Julio.
Yep.
That's how what my eyes have said. People just keep questioning, like, every time I told it to 2 different people today, neither of you two, about how it's going to be Jaleel, and they're both like, "Oh, what about Audric?" And it's like, that's not what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still early though, and I'd even throw in there. Audric is still the youngest player on this roster.
Yep.
Like the idea
argument I
that he
get.
couldn't get better is like he will be better. Like 2 years from now, he will be a better football player than he is right now. That's not something you can usually say. And I think for Jaleel, talking to other people out there too, I mean, it's you know exactly what he is. You know, he is not probably going to get better, and what he is might be valuable. And like there might be a chance that you could get him to your practice squad.
He's
there
a
might not
playmaker.
be. Yeah, but they're not big plays. They're not 20-yard gains. It's just that there are times when he's turned the corner. He's gotten a couple touchdowns that other guys couldn't get.
Yep.
But like it's not like he has RJ Harvey's speed. I think that if you were actually to look at the tracking, I would guess that Audric's top speed is probably about the same. It's just the burst for Jaleel that's different. The ability to get those edges. And so if it just depends on where you're setting that bar. If you look at Jaleel and say, hey, that's a guy who can make an impact for us, then sure, you keep him because he is the better player compared to Audric. But because of Audric's upside, if you look at Jaleel and say, we know what he is and we don't really see him ever being a part of our plans, that's when it's a lot easier to then say, like, let's just keep Audric and see what we can do.
But let me ask you this. If, God forbid, one of the top 2 running backs goes down and you need to give a guy 10 to 12 carries, who do you want to give it to?
I mean, I'd still give it to Audric. I mean, remember all last season.
No way.
All last season, you have to remember though, second half of last season, I was on the show every week saying, give the ball to Audric, give the ball to Audric, I went into the playoff game saying, give the ball to Audric. And
you know what they did?
oh, I know what they did.
They didn't give him a jersey.
But the question wasn't what do they think? The question is, what do I think? And
Yeah.
I look at the 2 of them, I think that there is a difference already.
I also think there's more at play than just talent. And I think that Jaleel is just one of those guys where you give him the ball and good things happen. And that, to me, that's valuable enough to keep him on the roster. Audric, you try to get him to the practice squad.
Yeah.
And there's a story that Sean Payton talks about a couple of times a year. I don't think we've heard it this training camp yet. Maybe we'll get it in a couple of weeks. But I have no idea what year it was, 2008, let's say. They drafted a running back either in the 3rd or 4th round. Then they got an undrafted guy in that same season. And they went to camp. And the undrafted guy was way better, according to Sean Payton, than the 3rd or 4th round pick. They cut that 3rd or 4th round pick that year, his rookie season. They cut him because they just liked him, the undrafted guy, more. And Sean, I think that guy was Pierre Thomas. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it was him. And Sean says it's his story that he points to about, I don't care how you got here. Once you're here, It's how you're better. So the fact that it's a 5th round pick from a year ago, according to Sean Payton's actions in the past, doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, I agree. I also don't agree that when you give Jaleel the ball, good things happen. Again, both he and Audric averaged 4.2 yards per touch last year. I think by success rate, they were both 51.3 rushing success rate, which is, half the yardage on first down. On third down, you got to pick it up. Like, I think the results were just as good other than the fumbles, which is a big caveat. And if you think that those fumble issues carry over, then that could be the difference. I think that's probably why he didn't get the uniform.
What about pass catching?
So 76 receiving yards for Jaleel, 27 for Audric, and so yards per reception, Jaleel had 3.2 last year.
Okay.
Like, I don't look. I'm not. I think Audric just is a prospect. There's so much more in the tank there. It's just like if you want to split hairs and you think Julia's a little better,
I agree
maybe
with that.
fumbles is what it is.
I agree with the whole 20-year-old part of this.
Yeah.
Like, that matters. But there also has to be confidence that potential will be realized.
Fair.
Yep.
But I also think if you wound up like Tyler Bidet, you can get to your practice squad. And does Tyler Bidet give you 80% of what Jaleel does? Like, by the numbers, he gives you significantly more than either Jaleel or Audric does. And if you came to a situation where you said, hey, we should have kept Jaleel instead of Audric because we need somebody to be the bell cow, and for some reason we just don't trust Audric, I think the gap between Jaleel and just whoever else you could kind of keep around, it isn't big if there is one.
We'll see what happens. One thing that I do want to say about Audric, I think he had his play of camp so far today. I don't remember who the quarterback was, but threw the ball. It was not Bo. That's all I know. Threw the ball. He was coming out of the backfield, the wheel route down the left sideline, I believe. Threw it, I think, really behind him, and he made a great adjustment to it. Made a great catch. I love to see it because Audric is a great guy. I hope he makes the team. So I just want to give that. It was a really good catch. He also made a really good catch. This one was against On Air, but it was another really impressive adjustment that he made to the ball. So like seeing that out there today.
Can I give you my biggest takeaway that isn't exactly directly related to football?
Yes.
Of course.
Sean Payton looks incredible. He looks like really healthy and really happy, and he's like glowing.
He does look very good physically. Mentally, in terms of like his happiness level, that was the happiest we've seen him all camp. I don't know what it was. If it was getting that Courtland Sutton deal off, so he wasn't talking to media that was asking him about contracts. He was so happy today.
Also, like,
maybe it was you were there, Ryan.
It could be. Sometimes it's a really stark change going from a Deion Sanders press conference, Coach Prime press conference, to a Sean Payton press conference. Like, you're talking about just one of the best smooth talkers there are.
Yeah.
And then Sean Payton kind of like stumbles sometimes. I thought he was super sharp, super direct, dialed in today. And I was just thinking, like, I think he really likes this team, and he's just in a great place.
Yep.
Totally.
That's
he
what
has.
it feels like.
It's been a much better mood. I agree. He looks like he's in shape. He's been happy.
And the one time that he like went after a reporter, it was deserved.
Totally. Oh yeah, he has not done anything that hasn't been undeserved.
Saturday's press conference was something else.
Yeah,
And that was really funny.
It was. Yeah, until you go
did
back and do your
twice,
own
too.
internet show, and you're
I
like,
know.
I wonder, does he hate all internet shows? Is it most internet shows?
It's not the first time he's made a comment like that. So.
He certainly.
I got some clarification from inside the building. He likes our show.
Hey, all right.
Because I
Okay.
was like, was that all internet shows that he was talking about?
Yeah. Well, it definitely hopes that we're just saying really nice things about him right now.
I'm telling you, it looks great.
He
Like,
does.
If
No,
you see a
absolutely.
friend and you're like, man, their skin looks great. That like you're like, they must be in
Yeah.
a really good place. I think Sean Payton's
Yeah.
in a really good place right now.
That's what
Yeah.
happens when you have the love of your life. You also have a wife. Because Bo is the love of his life right now. The love of his life goes and meets with a former love of his life and Drew Brees this offseason. They get on the same page. Sean gets
know
to
that you
spend a month in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. He's at training camp. The defense looks amazing. So the thing that he doesn't really have that much control over looks fantastic. And then so he just gets to kind of pull the offense along. That's not the right word, but like, if that's supposed to be the weak link of this team, he's got all the confidence in himself that he is going to make that right. So, yeah, he truly is living his best life. And I'm glad that you brought up physically, because he does physically look good.
Truly.
Golf, probably 36 holes a day for a month.
I'd look great, too.
Yeah.
You get that glow. Henry, any final takeaways before we talk about Court?
Oh, I mean, those one-on-ones, I just love those so much. Like I said, Pat Bryant with the route running, pretty insane for a rookie. I would throw in there, though, that Michael Bandy, if his only use for this team is like you throw a cornerback, like a rookie cornerback on him and see how they handle it, that's a pretty good use. Because Michael Bandy's what, like 5'10", 180 pounds, just shifty little guy. But having been in the NFL for like 3 years now, it's a good test. I mean, he got away first from Jahdae Barron.
Yep.
He got away from Pat, just like on a quick little in, he beat Pat. Again, he's built for that drill in particular, but having a guy like that is awesome because the Broncos, Sean Payton in particular, doesn't really like those little shifty slot receivers. He's never really had one. Keeping him around for this use is fun to watch. That was too much on Michael Bandy, though.
Really quick on Bandy. He's just in the weirdest spot because as long as there's a practice squad spot for him, he's going to be on a team for like 10 years. But no matter what he does, he's never going to make an NFL roster. And you just know that going in and out. It feels like I feel bad for him, but then also like great for him because he's going to be with an NFL team. And it's just year in and year out because he does everything you ask of him. And then it's like practice squad.
Yeah. I mean, he got into one game a couple years ago. But what it takes is like, oh, if something horrible happens and the Broncos are down 2 receivers or maybe even 3 receivers, week 13, you have a guy who you trust to go in there and know what he's doing. That is a lot more reliable than, like we've talked about some of these other undrafted guys. Jerwan Newton, Joaquin Davis has made a couple plays.
He made a play today.
Yeah. But you have to be able to unseat Michael Bandy. And that is just such a good barometer for like an undrafted receiver. Like, can you go beat this vet who's just sticking around? Former Colorado Raptor, rugby player.
No way.
Got signed by the Chargers from there. And now this is his third year with third year at the Broncos.
Speaking of guys you can trust, we didn't have a choice because this is right in front of us, the only thing right in front of us all day. But just watching Will Lutz just go out there and just hammer balls through the uprights, it makes you. It's a thing you take for granted when you have it.
Yeah,
it is.
Totally.
But I 100% trust Will Lutz. I think Zach Bye told me this, so I'm giving him credit. But I think he said he missed 3 field goals last year. 2 were over 50, and 1 was blocked.
Yep.
He was perfect on extra points. Another thing you take for granted. Another thing that Zach Bye said, he's like, you turn on Sunday, you're seeing missed extra points every single week.
Yes.
Broncos didn't miss one. It's just really nice to not be thinking like, oh, well, how's the kicker competition going or like anything like that. You've got a guy who is going to be probably a top 5, top 10 kicker in the league every year.
Yep, trustworthy. That's what you want from your kicker, and that you don't want to talk about your kicker, and that's what you get with Will Lutz. Which is great.
And I'm pretty sure blowing everybody out in terms of Broncos all-time field goal percentage. I wasn't able to find the stat quickly enough. 89.7% of anybody who's kicked at least double-digit games. Second best ever, Matt Prater, 82.9%.
Yep.
Like, that's a significant jump.
Quick update on
He had a slow start.
What?
Remember that slow start from Will?
Yeah.
We were all doubting him. It hasn't
Yep.
really missed since.
Nope.
That was a couple years ago.
He's also, it's clear the way Sean talks about him, whether it's through highs or lows, he's someone that needs the confidence of his coach. So you're never going to hear Sean say anything even remotely negative about him. And he deserves all the positivity.
Yep. And I think that's just
for
good
what he's
coaching
been.
from Sean because I don't think negativity would ever help a specialist.
It would take a weird
That's fair.
personality. Yeah.
Very fair. Really quick on the inside linebackers, an update there. Saw Drew Sanders at the facility today. No pressure on his leg. They're waiting for more tests to come back to see if he has surgery or not. We talked about it yesterday. He's going to miss north of 4 to 6 weeks. But as Sean Payton said, it was actually good news of what they received from his injury. So don't count on him. At least for the first couple weeks of this season. Alex Singleton is wrapping up surgery right now in Los Angeles today. He's expected to be back tomorrow, but then he won't be back on the practice field for a week. He should be back for the joint practice against the 49ers, wearing a little club on his thumb, and should be good there. Lavelle Bailey is getting the opportunity to play with Dre Greenlaw, and he is impressing Sean Payton. I mean, he's impressing us. We've talked about him in the past few days, but today Sean said, quote, he looks like an NFL linebacker, said he's had a really good last few days. So he's a guy where you might have your inside linebacker room right now. You got the 2 starters, you got Justin Stronach, you got Lavelle Bailey.
Yeah. And Sean specifically mentioned how great a shape he's in. And it blows my mind that guys like Lavelle Bailey, and specifically not him in this case, but will like come into camp and not have their coach say that about them. It's like, you can control one thing when you're away from the facility. It's how good a shape you come back in. And it clearly stood out to Sean that when Lavelle set foot here for camp, he was in fantastic shape. When he was asked to step up and play more reps, he's done a great job with it. Like, those 2 dots connect very easily, and that helps build trust with your coach.
And as Sean Payton said, he really does look like an NFL linebacker.
Totally.
He's got the size.
I mean, part of it just being another year removed from college. Because at the time, we knew that he was one of the best cover linebackers. It's just like, can he play between the tackles? Is he physical enough? With a year in an NFL strength program, you get big enough that you're able to do that. And it's a little bit tougher to tell during these practices if that's going on. Like, the passing game is where he has stood out, but he didn't need much more size to compete.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to Courtland Sutton, because we mentioned this yesterday. Courtland Sutton hadn't done a lot of 7-on-7s, a lot of teamwork in these contract negotiations. Today, he was full go, and there was a cool moment that happened during the first team. It was actually during the walkthrough of practice, but it was the first time the first team offense huddled up. He went around and either gave a hug, a little helmet butt, or some sort of dap up to every single person in that huddle. And it was really cool because you could tell it was Court showing them the love, but them also showing Court the love. And so that was cool how it kicked off practice. And Court did do everything in practice, so there's no underlying injury that they were trying to hide. He just wanted to be safe, as Sean Payton said, when he was working through this contract situation. And then we got to talk to Court after practice for the first time. But before we talked to Court, we heard from Sean, who talked about the contract. So let's hear from Sean talking about why it was important to lock Court down for the next 5 years.
Oh, for so many reasons. Number one, I mean, he epitomizes like what we're looking for, and then you match that with his play, and I mean, just each box you're checking: leadership, work ethic. I'm excited for him and for the club. Sometimes they take a little bit of time, but I think throughout the process, there was never that feeling like it wasn't going to get done. It was just a matter of when.
Maybe the contract getting done helped Sean's glow today.
Big couple days for Courtland Sutton's Mr. Bronco candidacy.
Yeah.
Really is.
Yeah.
He epitomizes what we're looking for.
Yep.
He has just about everything.
That sounds a lot like the characteristics of a Mr. Bronco.
He is always at like Nuggets games and Avs games.
Yep.
This quarterback loves him.
Yep.
He's a very likable person. Well, actually, let's just hear from Court right now. Let's just hit one of the clips, Dion, whichever one you like the best, of Court talking about having an extension and being with the Broncos.
First off, I want to say, thanks. A lot of thank yous are into order, but I'm very thankful to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to be able to have this opportunity. To be able to be healthy, to be able to be going into my 8th year into the NFL, and then also just to be able to be a part of this amazing organization of the Denver Broncos. Man, this is huge, and I have an amazing team in Jake Presser, Daniel Gresham, who through this whole process were able to figure out the best way to be able to get this joint done. Communication was amazing between us three, and ownership, Mr. Penner, Mr. George, Mr. Rich, Coach Payton, the whole nine. The communication was amazing for us to be able to get on the same page with this. And I'm just very thankful to the Penner family and the ownership group for believing in me, continuing to believe in me, to give me the opportunity to be able to stay here and to, continue to build, the legacy that I've had here since, 2018. And I'm just grateful, man. I have a heart of gratitude for this opportunity, and yeah, I'm just grateful. But yeah, to answer your question, it is legacy, being able to be here, signing the contract. That was the biggest thing for me, was being able to be here and bring back the years that Broncos fans have known. The organization has such a long historic tradition of being successful, and you all know that I've been here through the thick and the thin, and there's a lot of promise on the other side of the horizon here, and to be able to be here and to have more years of being able to chase greatness, with this great team that we have and with this great organization, that was one thing that I was looking forward to. And we have the best fans in football, and it's not a cliche thing to say. It's one thing that I believe wholeheartedly. I've played in almost every NFL stadium, and there's nothing like Empire Field and being able to play in front of Broncos country. And so I'm just grateful to be able to be here and to continue my legacy here.
Man, I don't know if anyone's living a better life than Court right now. $92 million payday. Plus, he believes he has his quarterback for the future. He's got his coach for the future. It just, you can just tell from talking to him.
I also hear his golf game's in a great place.
Oh, I bet it is. Probably going to be even a better place after this contract.
It's true.
Yeah. No, it's good for him. I think I had one thought about that. It was mostly that he's happy, which makes me happy. But then also, it's crazy to think that there are kids in high school right now who only know the Broncos as being bad. Like when he brought up like all the years the Broncos fans have known, there's some kid who's just like, oh no, all of them are bad. Like he might go to class and everybody else is like, oh, you're a Broncos fan? What a loser. Which is just wild to me.
10 years ago, yeah.
I mean, if you were like 5 at the time,
Yeah.
you don't really remember. 10 years now, you're 15.
But as he said, the future is bright right now. One more thing, just for anyone that missed the show yesterday, because we did talk about this, and I just want to emphasize one more time how good of a deal this is for the Broncos. And shout out to George Payton and Rick Hurtado for making this contract the way it is. Essentially, Courtland already had 1 year, $14 million left on this deal. This is a 4-year, $92 million extension on top of that, with only $27 million guaranteed in that part. So the next 2 years, he gets, it's essentially, you can view it one way. It's a 1 year, or you can view it a couple of ways. It's a 1 year extension for $27 million, or it's a 2-year deal where they scrapped this year's deal and gave him $41 million. Good deal for Court. He's guaranteed $41 million, so I totally see why Court wanted this. And then after that, it's 3 one-year team options. That's incredible. That's exactly how every team wants to design contracts right there. So it goes through the 2029 season. The Broncos could have them all the way through there, but there's other options as well. So just a great job by George Payton making this contract.
Yeah, I was with some of the young folk around the office yesterday when this deal broke, and they were like, that's crazy amount of money, blah, blah, blah. I was like, just wait for the details to come out. You guys are so young. One day you'll learn that the numbers don't matter until you see the details.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the guarantees that matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So 2-year, $41 million deal, and then 3 years of team options is incredible. Okay, before we wrap up, we've got some super chats to hit, and let's get to them. Got our first one coming in from Greg6682, who says, can I pay for Henry to read all the ads? LOL. I'm sure there's a price.
As long as you're paying me, yes.
No,
Yeah. Well, you could buy all of the ad space and then just specifically request that you want Henry.
Yeah.
And you can just make them ads for your YouTube.
Yeah. Or you just be a middleman. Sell them to Raising Cane's yourself.
Right.
Middleman, just forward all the money, but then with the caveat.
It has
That'd
to
be a lot of
Henry.
work.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can work with the sales team, and if you buy the ads, you can say, I want this person reading them.
That's how
And
radio
not just
works,
for this
too.
show, but for every show on the DNVR network, I'm sure.
It's true.
Typically with radio, isn't it so you pay like half the money to like whatever radio station, half the money to the person you want reading the ad, and that person reads the ad?
I know those deals are done. I don't know if all of them are like that.
Just
There
an
you go.
idea.
Another super chat coming in from our friend McCaffrey's Spicy Mustard. Shout out to
good stuff.
Ed for tuning in. Says,
Wow.
any news on A.T. Perry? Does he actually exist? I have
Yep.
seen him out there, number 87.
I literally turned to Henry today. I was like, "Who is 87?" He's all, "That's A.T. Perry." I was like, "Oh, okay, I get it." now."
Yeah.
He stands there.
He is not practicing yet. According to Sean's initial diagnosis, he should be back semi-soon. We got one more super chat to hit, and we're going to do it in overtime. Go to thednvr.com to catch the rest of this show in overtime. Henry, I didn't want to cut you off on your favorite guy, A.T. Perry. Any thoughts on him?
Looks tall. Looks fast. Would love to
does.
see that in action.
Yeah,
He does look fast, even though we haven't seen him
Yeah.
run.
looks like he would be fast.
He
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
like he
yeah.
would be fast, and I knew
why
that
is that?
4 years ago he was fast. The lankiness,
He is.
in the way
He's
that
kind of aerodynamic looking.
oh,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
in the way that Michael Bandy is a good target for like like Courtney Jackson or Jerwan Newton, the guys who are like the slot guys who could take that spot. You have A.T. Perry, which for your bigger like Joaquin Davis, another 6'3", ridiculously fast player, like that's another. It's a guy who's played in the NFL. He's been around a bit. Can you surpass that? We'll see.
Yes.
Malhai Singh says, I'm a Fresno State alum
Really?
who watches a lot of Fresno State football. Lavelle Bailey is an absolute beast. Also, who gets the extension next? Zach or Nix? Or Nick. Sorry. Yeah,
Zach
not
Al-
Nix. Zach Allen or
Nick Benito.
Nick Benito. I think it's going to be Zach Allen. I think these sides were close, have been very close for the past week. It was just about which domino fell first between Zach and Court. Court fell. Now all focus can be on Zach. I also do think that Nick could happen at any time. They might wait till the season for Nick. So I think it's going to be Zach.
All right.
Yeah.
And final one from Yo Cade, who says, not only is it exciting for this season, but these owners have the excitement for the long-term future, like with Bo Nix and Sean Payton era. Let's Bo.
Impressive reading. That was pretty small.
Thank
It
you.
is.
I was definitely testing my vision test with that. Yes, Cade, let's Bo.
By the way, Broncos owners at practice every day.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yep.
Both of them too.
Yep.
Yep.
And I don't know if you were able to notice this. Look at the shoes that Carrie Walton Penner walks around in.
I had not looked at her shoes.
I hadn't either.
They
No.
are just like Sean's repping the Jordans, and he's got his exclusive brand, and now Pat's repping the Jays. She might have the coolest shoes of them all. Just
Really?
every single day. They're a different type of Nike/Jordan with the orange and blue combo. They're very cool.
All right.
She's got the swag leading the Broncos. All right.
Also, check out the website tonight for all the notes.
Yes.
We got a whole bunch of notes on Jade Bear and a lot of thoughts there. 2 sacks for Jonah Ellis today. Gonna have a bunch on Jonah Ellis, so that'll be up tonight.
TheDNVR.com. Also, become a DNVR Broncos diehard tier with us right now. Tailgate tier is going to get you 2 tickets to the tailgate, plus a free shirt. It's $140 value. Plus, you get all of our content with that for $89.99. So make sure to get in on that over at thednvr.com/intro. That's going to do it for us today. Hit us with a thumbs up. We really appreciate everyone tuning in. We're back tomorrow to wrap up the 7th practice of training camp at 2 p.m. We'll see you then.
We all silly like the mayor.